Chairman, Committee Chairman, distinguished professors, and ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply grateful that you have come to Korea to attend the 10th International Conference on the Unity of the Sciences. Korea is my native country. Here in Korea, you have found reminders of the sacrifices made by the 16 nations that participated in the Korean War. As Korea is divided into North and South, it is a sorrowful country, but nevertheless, it is a country of great significance. I sincerely hope that you will take a deep look at Korea and Asia and come to understand them well. I also hope that the context of the speech I am about to give will be understood in a profound religious context and not in the political context. Unity between the upper and lower classes of the human society. There are many confrontations and struggles in human society today. Confrontations exist between what may be called the upper and lower classes of races, nations, and societies. But the most serious problem of all is the confrontation between the upper and the lower classes, formed by the difference between wealth and poverty. The human population in the northern hemisphere centers mostly on the white people and is estimated at about 800 million. This group may be considered the upper class of peoples of the world. On the other hand, in China, India, and the other Asian nations, there are 3 billion people who form a middle class of peoples, finally, centering on the black and brown people. The 500 million of Africa, Central and South America, and Oceania form an economically poor or low class of peoples. This difference in economic wealth presents itself in today's world as a most serious problem, and it is repeatedly dealt with as the so-called North-South problem by the number of international organizations, including the United Nations. The most probable way of solving this problem is to unite these upper and lower classes through the Asian who are between the white Euro-American societies and the black African societies. All the important issues of 20th century today must be solved on the worldwide scale. In this aspect, the most important problem is how to motivate the people of the upper class to lower down their status by their own will. Since the beginning of history, mankind has sought this gap between the upper and the lower classes. Communism, for instance, is the strongest example of this trend. The idea of communism is to eliminate the exploitation between the classically human societies and to construct the society without any classes. However, the biggest problem with communism is its atheism and the fact that it seeks to create an ideal world on a foundation which denies God. It is also a problem that in a practice under communism, all things are carried out according to the private will of a few dictators. To overcome these problems and to find a new solution, we must go beyond humanism, to which we held on tightly, a new thought founded on a new Godism and a new central nucleus for such unity are necessary. A central museum which enables the upper and the lower class to unite in the middle is necessary. This is none other than religion. Originally, religion is supposed to accomplish this function. Religion's purpose is the salvation of the world, rather than just the salvation of individuals or families. In order to unite the upper and the middle and the lower classes, new religion, which serves as the nucleus for unity, is necessary. Then what is the Unification Church? It is a new religion destined to carry out this historic mission. I have been pioneering to pass for that purpose. It is historical, inevitably, that people of all races went to meet me in that path. The position of Korea Peninsula from the standpoint of civilization. The earth on which we live is divided into land and ocean. If we look at the peninsulas geographically, we see that they are centrally located so as to connect land and ocean. Accordingly, since ancient times, peninsulas have always been significant locations for the formation of civilizations. The ancient civilizations of both Greece and Rome, as well as the civilizations of Spain and Portugal, all began to flourish on peninsulas. But today, a new worldwide civilization combining the civilizations of the East and West must emerge. In Asia, it is one on the Korean Peninsula that this is happening. World civilization has developed as it has moved around the globe. First came the continental Egyptian civilization, then the peninsular Greek and Roman civilizations, then the island civilization of Britain, the next continental American civilization, and the continuing westward across the Pacific. There is the island civilization of Japan. And now civilization is being extended to Asia so as to concentrate into an emerging Korean peninsula civilization. The civilization brought together here in Korea is one of high dimension, and it will play the central role in creating a new world. Japan, an island country, allowed Western civilization to become established in Asia for the first time. The next stage will be that of the peninsular civilization. The Korean peninsula is the place where the Eastern and the Western civilizations are merging. As the historian Spengler pointed out, civilization, like our four seasons of a year, has repeated its rise and fall. Today, the age of the Atlantic civilization is passing, and the age of Pacific civilization is emerging. If we look at the situation around Korea, we see that Korea is located between the four great powers of the United States, Japan, China, and the Soviet Union. The United States is currently expending great effort to counter the expansionist Soviet Union. In Europe, the Soviet Union occupies half a divided Germany. And in Asia, it divided Korea into North and South. and it has kept the North within its range of control. It is primarily in Asia, centering on Korea, and not in Europe. That these four great powers confront one another. Because of this, America is obliged to pay attention to Asia, a continent greater than Europe. Considering this situation, Korea is a country which in all areas will play a basic role in determining the destiny of the confrontations between East and West and North and South. At this point, let us take a look at the practical possibility of this. Koreans have a strong sense of justice and religious. And they display their capabilities in many different fields. If they come to a deadlock in any situation, they cope with it, or if necessary, they can change directions in a bold and courageous way with much adaptability. This trait is one of the outstanding characteristics of Koreans. I was born among these Koreans, and the Unification Church has developed from such a background. We of the Unification Church believe that as a fruit of such a history, we are to accomplish the worldwide mission of bringing the upper and the lower class closer together, centering upon the yellow people. The Unification Church has sufficient religious content to fully accomplish this purpose. To accomplish this purpose, I am determined to do my best in all fields of endeavor and in all regions of the world. God's love, the absolute value. To bring unity between the people of the upper and the lower classes, we must bring the people of the upper class to unite with those of the lower class and bring them up to the level of those of the upper class. In order to accomplish that, a central point of absolute value is necessary. That central point is God's love. Then what is God's love like? God's love can be with both the people of uppermost class and the people of the lower class. God's love is never one-directional. It is a force which moves in a special motion. It can move around freely from the highest point to the lowest. Wherever God's love appears, it is welcomed by all, everywhere, and it creates harmony everywhere, at all times. God's love always possesses absolute value whenever and wherever it may be. If we have God's love, we are happy and we feel filled and secure. Though one may be in the position at the bottom, he can still love those who are on top, and those in top positions can love those in the lowest positions. In this way, God's love is infinitely free. The people who have God's love receive a great welcome wherever they go in the world. This is the reason why people follow Unification Church members willingly and wholeheartedly wherever they may be in the world. The Unification Church has sought salvation in God's love. As soon as people come to realize that the new thought which the Unification movement is introducing is far more outstanding than those of both communism and capitalism, and that the kingdom of heaven on earth is realized by the love of God, all people will be only too happy to accept it. If one is to truly comprehend the situation of the world today, one must understand the situation of Korea, where God has a special will, and that within Korea everything exists in a condensed form. For example, democracy and communism, which are the main trends of thought in the present world, exist in Korea, and the four major religions, Christianity, Buddhism, Confucianism, and Islam, also exist here on a high level. As I said earlier, Korea is the connecting point of the Eastern and Western cultures. And the four greatest nations of the world are politically confronting each one, connecting on Korea. Everything exists symbolically within Korea itself. In God's dispensation, Korea is responsible to inevitably bring all of these aspects into unity. In conclusion, Korea has to accomplish the four great tasks centering on the unity movement. They are: first, a unity of the religion through an ecumenical movement; second, a unity of the thought by overcoming materialistic communism through a victory of a communism movement; third, a unity of culture by establishing a new lifestyle in which the cultures of the East and the West are combined; and fourth, a unity of economy through a new ideology. With God's love of absolute value, we of the unification movement will love all the people of the world even more than our own parents and brothers and sisters. From the unified world and realize the kingdom of heaven on earth. With this, the creation of a new world, which God and mankind have been long for, will have been completed. Only with God's love can there be true victory, true peace, true happiness forever. The future of Asia centering on Korea. Korea is capable of bringing about unity in the four areas mentioned above through the unification movement. Of them, the first three have already nearly reached completion. And we are now trying to accomplish the fourth and the last point, the economic problem. Korea is developing economically at a rapid pace. However, it still cannot be said that it has reached an advanced international level. Then how can this be accomplished? To accomplish this goal is also the mission of the unification movement. For this purpose, I intend to initiate cooperation between Germany's high standard of mechanical technologies and the industry of Korea. Spiritually, Korea and the unification movement have already successfully linked Japan and the United States. The United States and Europe are already linked culturally. God has especially blessed and helped Germany and Japan to recover economically after World War II. In order to accomplish this dispensation, in particular, Japan has become a gigantic economic power. Even Germany has come to feel threatened by the economic success of Japan. The only way for Germany to protect itself is to join together with Korea and produce superior quality goods at a reduced cost and market them in Japan and other places. Likewise, it should allow the third world to participate in equal profit sharing. Then if Japan is included, the road of world economic unity will be opened. In In reality, as long as aggressive policy of the communist persists, world peace will never come about, nor will economic unity be possible. If Korea, the United States, Germany, Japan, and China become one, it would be possible to block the Soviet Union's global aggression. Of course, China is at present a communist country, but in the hope of modernizing in the fastest way. It insists to maintain friendly relations with Japan, the United States, and Germany because of its past experience in history. China will never want to be close to the Soviet Union, however. In order to opposite the Soviet Union, the United States is compelled to strengthen its armaments, and it also wants to maintain close ties with Japan, Germany, and China. But Japan is unwilling to strengthen militarily because of its past history and because of its internal situation. On the other hand, in view of its situation today, Korea is very eager to strengthen its military defenses. The United States wants Korea to serve as the axis of defense against the Soviet Union. But Korea alone is too small. Thus, the United States may want to have China join this axis of defense against the Soviet Union. China wants to develop its own heavy industry. But this will take some time as its foundation is too weak. Even though China wishes to import advanced technology from Germany and the other industrialized nations, geographically it is too far away from them, and its culture is very different from theirs. Thus, it is nearly impossible to do so. However, a good opportunity for China lies in utilizing the 3.5 million Korean residents who live in the northern eastern part of China. Through them, Korean and German technologies could be disseminated extensively. Korean residents in Japan, the United States, and China is connecting these three countries. For this reason, the unification movement intends to connect Korea and Germany. China would not mind joining together with Korea, which have never attacked against any country throughout its entire history. Although Japan may not want to strengthen its own armament, it has the technology and the capabilities of producing weapons, and it could produce them in China. Here we arrived at one conclusion. If Korea, together with the unification movement, plays a role, the technologies of Japan, Germany, and the United States could move into China, thereby helping strengthen the defense against the Soviet Union. That Korea could further link in the highest technologies on the third world, eventually leading to world peace. These countries will realize that it is mutually profitable for all of them to join together with Korea as a mediator. The three Asian countries could form an economic alliance with the United States and Germany connected to them at the same time. By so doing, the road of defense as well as the road of victory over the communism of the Soviet Union would be paved. In this real sense, Korea is becoming a new base for an East and West civilization, and it is emerging as the center of the Pacific civilization. My proposal. As a conclusion, I would like to make a proposal. It is to construct a Great Asian Highway Zone, which would run through the China, Korea, and Japan, and then eventually link the world by constructing a great free world highway zone to connect the whole world. This highway would be the great international highway around which freedom is guaranteed. And it would go through mainland China, crossing the Korean Peninsula, from north to south, to an underwater tunnel to bridge to Japan, and moving north through the entire Japanese island. If this highway were constructed, the three Asian countries would be linked through the highway, and they would become one. The economic and cultural exchange between them would be so frequent that it would literally enable them to form an Asian common community. China would probably agree to this, and so would Japan. Korea would undoubtedly welcome it. The United States and Germany would also participate. If this plan is carried out according to the framework suggested here, free traffic would become possible among all the people of the Asian countries. As a result, North Korea would have to give up its ambition of aggression through military means. It would be forced to choose peaceful means for unification instead. Thus, by uniting the Asians, it would eventually become possible to connect the upper and the lower classes of the world with the yellow peoples serving as a mediator. In order to concretely realize such an ideal, the Korean residents now living in Japan, the United States and China would be connected to form the technological group. Then automatically, the direction of Japan and the United States would also come into accord. Then based on the new economic foundation, a highway which guarantees freedom could be developed worldwide. Thus, through completing the unrestricted Asian highway and realizing the historically long cherished ideal of joining the upper and the lower classes, a great migration of the yellow peoples will come about, with Asia as its starting point. By establishing a realistic, unified economic sphere, and connecting the East and the West in the new civilization, the peace of the new world can be realized. Centering on God's love, which is the absolute value. In this age of the transition of the civilization, when Western civilization joins that of the East and prepares to meet the new Pacific civilization, I sincerely hope that all you distinguished participants from all over the 100 countries of the world who are participating in this memorable international conference on the unity of the science here in Korea will have deep insight into these matters and will offer concrete cooperation regarding them. Thank you very much.